homies, this is your favorite SmackDown reviewer, Crazy Pretzel, coming to you live on October 29th. Because tomorrow is Saturday the 30th, and Sunday is the 31st. Happy Halloween, everybody. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be giving kids candy for Halloween because I'm not going to lower myself to contributing to obesity, especially childhood obesity and diabetes in this country. I'm going to give these kids instead a gift. I'm going to give them foxtrot tulips. These are plants that you can grow in the fall, because that way when they come up with the spring, these plants will be a lot prettier than all these stupid, ugly kids that come around here. And they won't be, you know, diabetic plants or nothing either. So, screw Halloween and screw you kids. After all, I'm sure mostly adults are probably watching me do my review right now anyways. Because let's face it, WWE Universe kids are foolish. Well, not really. Just the kids that come in my neighborhood are foolish. But anyway, let's go into the show. So we start the show off with a Kane promo, basically bragging that he's the one that, you know, buried The Undertaker alive, and people don't have any hopes anymore because The Undertaker's gone. People don't commit suicide, you know, the usual Kane stuff. The devil's favorite demon. TFD, whatever. Blah, 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 just kind of bragging. And then Alberto Del Rio interrupts him and says that he wants a title shot against Kane. And then Kane's like, are you out of your mind? Do you know what I'm doing right now? And Rio's like, yeah. And then he starts attacking Kane and does his jumping enziguri in the head, knocks Kane down. He's actually dominating Kane for a while. He kicked like the urn of Paul Bearer's urn, kicks it out of his hand. And then he's actually beating up Kane for a while, and then Rey Mysterio comes down and attacks Rio. And then tries to hit a 619, but then Rio like gets out of the ring. Starts to go after him, and then Kane boots him in the face and knocks him off the apron, and then Edge spears Kane. And that's our opening promo. Wasn't bad. Then we have come back from break, and backstage we've got Theodore Long and Del Rio backstage. Then Rio says, you know, he wants a title shot tonight, and Long says no, and he says, well, at least let me be #1 contender. So then Long says, alright, we're gonna have a triple threat match tonight, you versus Rey Mysterio versus Edge, and the winner gets to face Kane for the title at Survivor Series. So, that's our main event tonight. So then our opening matchup is Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan. This matchup was awesome. Awesome! We've wrestled. Another awesome matchup. I ranked this 4 out of 5. It was just a good 7-8 minute matchup. Lots of good moves in the matchup. I'm just gonna try not to go into too much detail like I did last week, but I'm gonna hit some of the high spots. I liked Ziggler's like running neck breaker he did on or running neck snap move he did on Bryan, kind of like Mr. Perfect. Classic, not vintage, but classic Mr. Perfect. Bryan did this top rope knee drop into Ziggler's sternum before we went to a commercial break. That was kind of cool. I think he meant to hit him in the face, but got him in the sternum, but it was still cool. We come back from the break. Ziggler, like, hits this famouser, like, Bryan, like, went for a clothesline or something, and Ziggler ducked it and come up from behind him, hits a famouser on him. That was pretty cool. There was this awesome part in the matchup where Bryan went to, like, suplex Ziggler outside the ring, but, like, Ziggler sort of held on to the ropes or something, but they both come, like, falling out of the ring, and, like, Ziggler, like, hits his head, like, on the ropes, and Bryan just goes wham on the floor. It was, like, I wouldn't even call it a fuck up or anything. It was planned. It was really, like, you know, looked like I hurt both of them pretty bad. So then another cool spot, we have the Ziggler hits the zigzag, and then you think he's gonna win right here. Like, the referee's down, though, and then Vicky comes in and counts a 3 count, and she's all like, yay, you won, Ziggler! And then the ref's like, that doesn't count, I didn't do it, or whatever. And Vicky's like, what? And then this allows Bryan to stand up, and he hits, like, this Tajiri, like, I don't know, Yakuza kick or something. Just knocks Ziggler, like, right in the head with it. Pins him for a 3 count. Awesome matchup. Gave it a 4 out of 5. Next we have a Kane Paul Bearer promo or whatever. Just basically, like, Bearer acting like a little wimp, like, you know, holding his face because Ray kicked him there, and then Matthews was gonna interview him, and then Kane just was like, all angry, shaking, you know, like he's a crack addict or something, I don't know. So, Matthews leaves. Then we have Kelly Kelly Squared standing by the mirror, you know, checking herself out. And then Dashing Cody Rhodes is like, hey, move out of the way. I gotta look, you know, use the mirror too, you know. Because obviously he has to. And then Kelly's like, oh, you use the mirror too much. And then he's like, that's because I'm dashing, whatever. And he's like, and you should take some of my tips so you can be dashing too. It was funny stuff. So then Big Show's like, shows up and wants to fight him. And Cody's like, well, I'm a tag team wrestler, you know. And then Big Show's like, well, that's okay. I can get a partner. People like me, unlike you. And then Cody's like, whatever, and like, that's fine. And then Big Show and Kelly are talking, and I think Big Show says like something like BFFs or something like that. You know, if this wasn't PG, I would assume this would stand for Best Friends Fucking BFF, but it's a PG show, so we know what it means. So, anyway, that was our little promo. It was cool. Next, we had a cool 5-minute matchup. We had Jack Swagger versus Kaval. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. It was a pretty good matchup. I'm gonna have my little Michael Cole comment after the match, but let's just talk about the match real quick. Highlights of the matchup. Match started out like Kaval went for like a backflip hamstring elbow or something. Swagger like catches him, spins him around, slams him down, kind of like a World's Strongest Slam. It was pretty cool. Hits him with that move. He hits his running Vader Bomb move for a 2 count. Kaval fights back. He like hits this running like jumping kick and like knocks Swagger down. Swagger gets up and he's up at the top rope and kicks him back down. It was pretty cool. And then later he hits a what they call it a rolling Liger kick, which if you guys know who Jushin Thunder Liger is, like he used to does this kick all the time. It's like a rolling somersault kick or whatever to the head. It was pretty awesome. And then the finish saw Swagger like took Kaval down and kind of slammed his leg on the apron, slammed him into the ring post, and then he got the ankle lock on him and made him tap out. So Swagger defeats him. It was a good matchup. I liked it a lot. Let's see. Next we had Divas Halloween Contest. I'm not even really going to talk about this. The only thing I liked about this was I liked Rosa Mendez's costume. She looked really cute. She was like looking like a leprechaun, but her outfit was just like really cute. And another thing in this contest, you know, they were like, Melina looks like a female Spider-Man. You know, I thought Melina looked like the Flash. Anybody remember that superhero? How he has like a lightning bolt on him and he's like orange and red? Or, I mean, yeah, orange and red or yellow and orange or something. She looked like the Flash more than a Spider-Woman. And is there even a Spider-Woman character? This shouldn't have been allowed. But yeah, this Divas Halloween contest sucked. Basically all they did was they came out or whatever, like to their costumes, and instead of having like the fans cheer for them or something, Lako was just all bragging, and Theodore Long was like, alright, we're gonna have an 8-diva tag match. So they could have just skipped that, like this whole thing, and just made the tag match, like, to begin with, you know? So, you wanna watch a good Divas Halloween contest, go back in time and see Tori Wilson versus Dawn Marie. Dawn Marie was dressed up like Wonder Woman, and meow, baby, she looked good. And so did Tori, she was dressed up like a bunny. Yes, I've watched that back in the day. I'm an old school wrestling fan. Not a wrestling fan 7-7 or anything. Oh, that guy's alright. So, we go to our Divas match. How much time do I have left? Oh, I got plenty of time. Okay. So, we go to our Divas matchup. Rosa Mendez, Alicia Fox, and Lay Cool versus Melina, Bella Twins, Kelly Squared. It's your typical Divas matchup. It was only like 5 minutes, and it was weird they gave him like a commercial break. I wouldn't even say it was 5 minutes. I'd say it was like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know. Only move in the matchup I liked was Alicia Fox went with some good snap bears. That was about it. Finishing the matchup was Kelly Squared hits Famouser on Rosa Mendez for a 3 count. Kind of took her sweet time pinning her after she hit the move too. I don't know. 1.5 out of 5. I pretty much gave it that just because I liked Rosa Mendez. It was cool seeing her. Alright, next we have Chosen Rhodes. Actually, Cody Rhodes at this point wants to call them the Dashing Ones. But that doesn't last long. Oh, I forgot to give my Michael Cole comment. Alright, let me go back. Alright. Michael Cole says something about, he was, you know, talking about the whole bragging rights thing, and then he's on SmackDown, and he's like, I'm proud of our brand. I'm proud to represent our brand. Alright, what's this dude's problem? Michael Cole is on Raw. He's always on Raw, bragging about Raw, bragging about Raw. But suddenly, just because he's on SmackDown, it's his brand? I mean, seriously. That's like gambling. Like, say if you betted, like, I don't know, $1,000 on 24 or something. And then suddenly, like, it's kind of going back and forth, and then suddenly 23 starts getting the upper hand. So then Cole's like gonna be like, I'm gonna change my bet to 24. No, you can't. You bet it on he's gonna change his bet on 23. You can't bet on 23 because you bet it on 24. The 24 losers, you're fucked. You know, that's what I'm saying though. You can't just go from one side to the other. That's like fighting a war, and then, you know, saying you're on a certain side, they start losing, so suddenly you're just gonna go to the other side, and the other side's just gonna accept you like that? It doesn't work like that, Michael Cole. It does not work like that. It's good to rant, folks. It's good to let out your frustrations. If you keep your frustrations inside, you're just gonna destroy your insides. Not to mention, you're gonna be so angry, you're probably gonna, like, you know, increase your workload of your heart and all that fun stuff. And that's bad, because eventually, you know, we can reach heart disease down the road. And we don't want that, folks. So, when something makes you mad, vent about it. Alright, let's go back to wrestling. So, we had Chosen Rhodes versus Big Show and Kofi Kingston in the tag matchup. I gave this match 3.5 out of 5. It was okay. Kind of slow for a start, but it kind of picked up a little bit. Basically, like, Kofi tagged in, you know, kicked both their butts for a while, and then Big Show came in, beat up McIntyre for a while, and tagged Kofi back in. And then Kofi got his butt kicked for most of the matchup. Mostly they were working on his leg. One cool spot I liked where McIntyre lifted Kofi, like, lifted him up and then slammed his knee, like, on the announcer's table. That was pretty cool. And then Cody was working on his leg for a while, had him in a single leg grab at one point. Then Kofi, you know, eventually makes the tags Big Show, and Big Show starts cleaning house. Big spine buster on Cody. McIntyre gets knocked out. And then Big Show hits a choke slam on Cody, and, like, Big Show's pinning Cody, and, like, McIntyre's, like, on the apron, kind of, like, looking at him. Not, like, trying to jump back in there to make the save or anything. So, Big Show and Kofi win. And then we come back after that, and my least favorite segment of the night, Rhodes and McIntyre break up as a tag team. So these guys have only been a team for like a month, and they capture the tag titles, and then they lose them, they don't get a rematch, and then they just break up. That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know, it kind of makes me mad. I mean, Cody Rhodes, he doesn't have anything to worry about. I'm a little bit worried about McIntyre because he might be floating again. They just need to do something with this guy, just kind of like have him be like, I'm chosen to win this title, and then he just starts beating guys to go for that title, and then he captures that title. Something simple like that. I don't know. They need to do more with McIntyre. But I think the reason they don't have him talk much is because he sort of sounds like Sheamus a little bit. So they want to keep him and Sheamus like different or something. I don't know. Whatever. Then we come to our main event, which was an awesome matchup. We had Alberto Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio versus Edge. Lots of good moves in this matchup. I'm gonna go through my big list here. Lots of good moves. Match kind of starts off. Rey does a crossbody from the top rope onto Rio and Edge on the outside. There was a cool spot after the commercial break. Edge goes for like a sunset flip on Rio, and then like Rio's holding on to Rey Mysterio. So Edge sunset flips him, and while Rio German suplex Rey. That was pretty cool. Rio kicks out of it too. Let's see, what other good moves? Rey would fight back later, like Rio was like standing on the apron, Rey like slid beneath his legs, then just yanks his leg. Rio's head first on the apron, then he hits a head scissors and then knocks Edge into the steps with that. That was pretty cool. And then Rey would hit a top rope splash, kind of like, normally he does the 619 and then he does like a weak splash for the 3 count. So he just does the splash on Edge but gets a 2 count. Rio comes back in, German suplex for a 2 count. And then later Rio